Thank you, everyone, for coming at the Siesta presentation. Let's see, lado para adelante. Works. Okay, so we are going to present our new product for mobile developers. It is called Liferay Screens, and you've seen a preview this morning. But you've seen a video from Jorge Ferrer, but we think it's much better to see a live demo of how it works. We know you don't believe in marketing videos, so we're going to demo it live. But before we present it, I want to make an introduction of why do we started this project and why do we started investing so much in mobile technology. First, we are at a Portal Solution Conference, but we have tons of presentations about mobile, wearables, hybrid apps, native apps. So what's going on? Isn't this a Portal product? What's going on? So we think that in the market, there has been an evolution where these two worlds, the Portal world and the mobile world, are starting to approach. And to understand why is this happening, we need to go back to the origins of Liferay and the origins of portals. Portals, as a technology, started to be the answer of a market need when companies had several systems of records and they needed a single point of access so that the user doesn't need to log into this CRM, then log in again into this HR system or this third-party system. So we were, as a portal company, we were giving them a unified experience to access all that information. Back then, in that age, we were giving access for the devices that people back then used, which was basically a desktop computer, and we were offering a web-based solution for them. And that makes sense in that age, right? But society has evolved a lot, and those same users started to demand that same access to the information from the other devices that they had. They wanted to have access to all third-party services from the mobile devices. That is why we in Liferay started to evolve towards mobile. We started investing in mobile websites, in responsive, and we started exposing our services so that they can be consumed from mobile devices. On the other part of the spectrum, we had the mobile world. It began as a completely separate movement inside technology, and it was mostly driven by small companies really focused on these technologies, building mobile apps for consumers, mostly, and they were using a whole new set of technologies. They had nothing to do with the web world, they had nothing to do with the portal world, and it was really consumer-facing. But as those users started to demand to their companies having the same experiences that they were used to when they were using Facebook app or the WhatsApp or Twitter, they were starting to demand to their companies and to the market the same kind of experiences on their mobile devices. So these small companies that were specialized on consumer apps started to get demands from big corporations to build apps for them. And what these companies, we have been interviewing these kind of companies for a long time now, and what these kind of companies discovered is that they were not used to special challenges that affects the enterprise world. So when you are focusing on creating mobile apps for the enterprise world, you realize that there are things that are completely different from the consumer world. And there was a gap there that was missing. And we also discovered that in Liferay, we started to offer a series of features that made sense for the portal world, like document management system, user management systems, authentication, web content management. And on the mobile world, it also made sense. And all apps were used to upload images to their backend servers, to create user accounts. So there were some overlaps in both stories. So we thought that there was a moment where both worlds could start touching each other. And we discovered that we, as a platform, could benefit those mobile users, those mobile developers with a lot of features that were normal to us, that were our basic set of features, but in the mobile world, there was a big need of all those kind of features. So first, we created the mobile SDK last year, and we created it as a way to expose our services in a better way, in an easier way to consume for mobile developers. And it was awesome. It reduced the amount of time that you needed to consume those services. But we realized that these companies that are specialized on mobile development, they don't really understand, or they don't want to understand how Liferay works. So we started thinking in ways to expose our features, our functionality to the mobile developer without them having to understand how Liferay works. And that is why we created Liferay Screens. Liferay Screens is a library of visual components built for native apps that directly allow you to reuse functionality from your portal on your mobile apps. The idea and the whole goal of this project is to reduce the amount of time that you need to implement in your mobile apps to reuse those functionalities that you have in the portal. And for now, I'll let Jose Manuel Navarro, he's our engineer lead for Liferay Screens, to explain the architecture of each ScreenLED and how it works so that you understand it, and then we'll go into a live demo.
Okay, so well, the first thing we did was seeing how any of you could write or program a portal. This could be one portal. In this case, it's our portal, but could be yours portal. So the first thing we did was, what is made this portal? What are the building blocks of the portal? So we identified the portlets, okay? These square things with functionality inside it, full of codes. But each portal is responsible for one thing, two things. Their responsibility is limited. So we take one application. This is our new sync, mobile sync application. And we started to think, and we said, what if these small boxes could fit in this mobile screen? What if we divide the screen of the mobile, the screen of the tablet, the screen of your smart TV application, the screen of whatever, divide the screen in small boxes and set one responsibility for each box. So we did it. We created the ScreenLED. We named it the ScreenLED because it looks great. It's a fancy name. It's similar. It sounds like OLED, but it's for any of your screens. Your mobile screens, your tablet screens, your smart TV screens. Okay? So this way, one mobile application is just a set of blocks. Our ScreenLEDs are the building blocks for your applications. You don't care about how each block is made. You don't care about the width of the block. You don't care about the height of the block. You don't care about these small peaks that you use to connect each block. You only use each one block to connect to other block. And the engineer's job is to make the block will always work. Okay? So we started to write ScreenLEDs. Each ScreenLED is responsible for one thing. In this case, we can see the sign-up ScreenLED. With the sign-up ScreenLED, you can register one new user in the portal. And we divide the ScreenLED in two components. The UI component, the responsible for showing the information, rendering the visual components, and the business logic or data source component, which is responsible for getting the data from the data source. So this is one ScreenLED. We have one component to show the information, the view. The view relies on the theme. ScreenLEDs are themeable. You can customize the look and feel, you can customize the behavior, you can customize everything of your ScreenLED using the theme. You can write your own themes, people can contribute new themes, and you can use themes made for everyone. In this case, the sign-up ScreenLED is shown using three different themes. The first one is the default theme. You show 4 fields, white background, blue colors. The second one is a black theme. It could be right for dark applications. And the last one is other theme. And you can even customize like the validation errors. How do you show one error is made? How do you show if the password is not secure enough? So that could be right inside the theme. You don't have to touch the ScreenLED itself. So in a parallel to the view components, we have the data components. Data components are responsible for getting the data to the server, or to the data source, or to the local file system, or to the local database, wherever. You get the data from somewhere. In our case, our Liferay portlets, ScreenLEDs, use the mobile SDK. This way, we can access a portal, Liferay portal, get the information from that using JSON web services, and send information to that. And as the mobile SDK uses discovery to discover which services and plugins do you have installed, you can use a ScreenLED with your own plugins, okay, without effort. So let's say we want to write an application that allows to register new users in the portal. Then it shows a form with several fields to allow user to fill that form. And finally shows a confirmation message to allow them to register in the portal, send information, and end the process. Okay? It's a very simple application, but could be similar to any enterprise application. So how many of you are able to do this application in mobile technology? I mean iOS, Android, hybrid, phone app, whatever. Please raise your hand. Okay. How many of you are able to do it in 1 week? Just one? Wow. Okay, we are going to do it in 10 minutes. A full application, complete. Imagine if we can do it in 10 minutes, imagine what you can do in 10 hours, okay? So, this is a Leaf demo, so everything will fail, no problem. Okay, for all of you that don't know a lot of mobile application, this is XCode. XCode's a couple of friends. Our XCode environment is where you code all the iOS application from the UI. This is the UI, and from the code. Okay. In the other side, we have a portal. This is my running portal, 6.2 in this case. So the first thing we are going to do is introduce a new view in the screen, okay, and say that this is a sign-up ScreenLED. This is where the magic happens. That's not a view, that's a ScreenLED. If I run my application, it's pretty ugly. Let me adjust. I go here to adjust the screen. Okay, it should be a little bit nice. Okay, you can write here, you can send information. We have a small errors like this. The button is not shown now. That's an error. So what if we fix that just changing the theme? We are going to change the theme and see we've got one theme installed here. I set the theme name here, and as soon as the application is compiled, oh, it failed. No problem. We're going to install a new theme. Now it's here. Try again. bad luck. So we're going to install a new theme. Here I've got my new theme, and just drag and drop in my project and try again with the new theme. It's building, going to adjust the size. It's compiling also. Come on. Here it is. Now it worked. So now the ScreenLED looks like different, and it has even different behavior. If we run the application, now we can see how this button, it changed the position to allow the user always to push it. So we are going to try it. This is how the user will fill the form. And this theme even have secure password check-ins. Okay, that's too weak, and now it's a strong password. So let's send information. It seems it worked. And now go to the portal. Go to the users. And here is my new user. Okay, so it worked. So next, we are going to create a second screen. And while I do it, Juan will tell a joke or something.
So he's going to join, he's going to develop the transition, and we have discovered that while developers are developing, they are unable to speak at the same time most of the time. So, when we started this project, we started doing a research on which are the most used components of mobile apps. We did this research with 150 mobile apps built for both consumer and enterprise apps. And we detected which are those building blocks. And those building blocks, the first thing is, the first or top used was the create account, right? That is needed for most applications. Then once you have your account, you need to sign in. So we created the sign-in ScreenLED. And then we realized that most of the apps, like 70% of the apps, had some kind of forms, some kind of communication with the backend. So we thought, well, we have a form creation system in our platform. Why don't we leverage that? So we started creating a communication with our form systems so that you can directly reuse all those forms into native components and have a full native experience with the Liferay backend. Also, this an important benefit. Users and companies are used to be able to change their content online and see those changes live in their websites, right? But in the mobile world, that is different. If you want changes in your app, you need to redeploy it through the marketplace, and sometimes it takes a long time to do that. And you have to have all your users update. So we decided to integrate our WCM system, our content management system, as part of the ScreenLEDs. So we have created a viewer for those web contents that we are showing, so that you can show all your web contents in your mobile apps, and you can change them, and they will be automatically be updated in your mobile apps. And the cool thing is that we are reusing all our features, so you can have international content that will show differently in different languages based on the user settings of their mobile phone, and that will apply to all the interfaces. So if you have a form that is translated into 10 languages, you don't need to focus on, to spend time on that on your app. You just translate your form on the platform, and you will have all the translations available in your app, right? Also, we leverage all the benefits from the platform. If you want to integrate with the workflow system, you will send all the notifications and all the features that are out of the box in Liferay, like tagging and sharing tasks. That is also available through screens.
I'm almost there. We are introducing a third screen. In this case, the third screen will show our web content. So I set here web content display ScreenLED. Put it here. We go to the portal to get the identifier. Let me get here. This is my identifier. And in the ScreenLED, we configure the article ID with this value. We connect to screens. Okay. We set the name here. And if all of us cross our fingers, maybe it will work. So first screen, sign the user. Set the password. Second screen shows a form. This form comes from a dynamic data list. Here you can see the definition, and you can modify this definition when you want. Okay. The form also have validations. So if you set one required field, it's required in the mobile app also. It also have photo upload, so we can select one picture from the library of the mobile. Now it's upload to your document library, and when you submit the form, you go to the final step. It's a confirmation. This is a web content, so you can modify it when you want. If I do the same in another simulator, for example, this one, this simulator is configured in German language. So as soon it compiles, come on, guy. Here it is. You see here it's German, and everything is localized. So you set the name again, the password. These ScreenLEDs are translated by a community member here in the DEVCON, very nice girl. I said, hey, please, could you help me translate the strings? And yeah, I have to say that she did a great job. So here I said that my portal version will be 6.2, and then submit, and this is the final step. So with I think, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, we made a very simple application. It's simple enough, but you know that if we are able to do it in 10 minutes, imagine what you can do in 1 week. You can make an application with less effort, with less time, and use all your code, all your portlets, all your business logic you already did in your portal.
Thank you, Jose. So what's next? What's the roadmap for this product? First, it is a beta product. When is it going to be a fully supported version? We want to start porting this to Android, so we are going to wait for that. So we already have this working version on iOS. So first thing, Android version. Once we have both, we have plans for the future. We have a list of ScreenLEDs that we want to keep implementing, but also we have a series of features that we think are really important, like push notification support, offline and synchronization support, and a series of features that are coming basically from your feedback. And this is maybe the most important slide from the presentation. We need you to give us your feedback. We are not building this for us. We are building this for you. So if you can come talk to us and share your experiences, share what type of apps you are trying to build, and which screenlets or which components would you like to see as part of library screens, we would love to hear about your needs. And, well, finally, here you have our contacts, so feel free to come talk to us. And I think that's it.
Please rate us using the application, mostly if you like it. If you don't like it, don't rate us.
All right, guys, we have about 4 or 5 minutes for questions. So.
If support for Android is ready, you will have to do the mobile app development twice, or if you if you want to have the same app on Android and on iOS.
Yeah.
Then
so in that sense, there's no difference between developing normal and native apps. You need to develop twice because these are just components. We think these would be parts of your app. This is not for building the whole app, right? So this will help you reduce the amount of time you need to develop the whole app. But at the end, it's Android code or iOS code. So yeah.
For me, it is interesting that you do not start with PhoneGap because of it's much closer to portal development. What are the reasons, and do you will support PhoneGap too in firmer times? Because there you would have single source code and build it for XCode or Android.
What we are trying to do is lower the bar to write in native applications. So it makes sense to write a ScreenLED library for hybrid development or for PhoneGap development or wherever. But we really think at industry, I think they agree that native application is the right way to go. If you do a hybrid or HTML5 development, it's good. It's good for you, and it's good for your users if you do it well, and it's good for your developers. But if you had specialized developers, would you do it? Would you do hybrid development if you have people specialized? Probably not.
So basically, we've seen that in the market. People are investing on hybrid because it's cheaper or easier to maintain. But what if native was so easy to maintain and as cheaper as hybrid? Would you keep investing on hybrid? We don't know. So we are trying with native, but we don't want to force anyone to use this. So we are doing research on extending this to other platforms like PhoneGap or Titanium. We keep researching on that line. So we are not close to it.
What about the port to Windows?
Windows Phone? Windows Phone, you mean?
Windows Phone.
Yeah, absolutely. We are now releasing the beta version for iOS. Then we are now working on Android. And probably the next one will be Windows Phone. But if you in the community are able to do it, why don't you contribute? It's so simple.
Yeah, so basically with Mobile SDK, we started both iOS and Android, and SMC from Italy has already contributed the version for Windows Phone. So we rely on the community also to help us. We cannot build for everything, right? So it's in the roadmap, but we'll see how far we can go.
Any more questions? Last one.
How is the extensibility? If I do not find my ScreenLED, am I able to build my own, or do I fall back to the normal tools of each?
You have three options. You could extend one existing ScreenLED if you want to modify the behavior. You may write one new theme to modify the UI and modify also the behavior, and you can write your own ScreenLED from scratch. Both are the options. Maybe the easiest is write a new theme, but for any mobile developer with, I don't know, months of experience, it will be very easy to write one new ScreenLED from scratch. And the project tries to allows you to contribute your new ScreenLEDs. In the same way as you are writing new portlets and you contribute to the marketplace, the project will work the same way. Maybe there will be a marketplace for ScreenLEDs in the future. Maybe you have pushed to your GitHub repository and someone could download, don't know. But the project supports that workflow.
Thank you. The time is over. So give them a thank you.